Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live.
Happy Sunday, everyone. Happy Sunday. Welcome to the beginning of the week. I guess it is. What am I talking about? It is designated to be the beginning of the week, the way it's been designed for us to think that way. I thought I had my book, so let me go get my book real quick. I don't. And I'm also here with my cup of coffee, my bell, and my highlighter. My highlighter. How is everyone doing today? Excuse me, I'm stirring my coffee. It's rude. Hold on. How's everyone doing today? Let me see something. There. Angela, how are you, sweetie? How are you? It's just you and me, Angela. Now, I might have put the wrong page on. Do you think so, Angela? Let me check it out. Oh, no. I think I'm. Wait. Maybe I'm not fine. Maybe I'm fine. Sojourner, we did Sojourner, so we are past 80. Uh, we're past Sojourner, definitely. Did we do Gertrude Morgan? Start at page 88. Got it. Oh, Garland. Okay, thank you. Doing great. You're doing great. By the way, I didn't get a chance to tell you that what you sent me, I think it was over a week ago. Sorry for not saying anything to you. But my screenshot of Oshun that was given to me of Oshun, I believe it was Oshun, and it's fine. I just needed Oshun on my face page, and there we had two examples of Oshun, and I literally fell in love with this one. But what you sent me was movable. She was moving. I thought that was so beautiful. So thank you for that. All right, now, how's your morning, Angela? How's your morning? Well, let me tell you that I have taken my neighbor Richard to the airport. Comedy, pure comedy. I'll tell you about it tomorrow. On the morning show, in any case, I took him to the airport yesterday, and he has some fear that he's compacted, which I don't think he is. I think he's just getting old. And for living where he's living, where all the herbs are available to you, I find that maybe because of here they live longer, but they could live amazingly longer if they took some herbs. They don't drink herbs here. Black folks love themselves some herbs, child. Oh, you're so welcome. My day going great. Already did my solar mantra and sun gazing. Oh my God, I love that. I love the spiritual quest that you're on. I love it. Hmm, I love that. And Richard, I took him yesterday so he can go to the ER, and then he's flying back today. So I'll be picking him up. Richard cracks me up though. He's totally gay. We've talked about this. Um, but he texts me this morning and he goes, "Are you there?" And I go, "Where are you?" "I'm just awakening," which wasn't true. I just wanted to lie because I didn't text him this morning. It was a total lie. I was like, "Where are you?" "I'm just awakening." And he goes, "Just had coffee in airport. Going now to check to see if my 2 p.m. flight is on time." And I put, "Yay, coming home." And I says, "I can pick you up when you land." And he goes, "Yes, honey." Like, hello? I need Richard to pick a lane. I need Richard to be gay. I don't mind being his gay wife, but he must stay gay. When he does things like that, I'm like, yeah, breaks. In any case, yes, honey, drives me crazy. Okay, let's get started. I love the artist. Oh, yes, that's what you were telling me. I couldn't remember the name of the artist. At Honey, that painted Oshun. Oh, wait, this is Oshun then. She does a lot of interpretations of various orishas, which I wish she had into tarot because would love a deck depicting her orisha painting. Well, contact her. Contact her. Tell her these would be great as um, tarot decks. That would be amazing. Of orishas, you know? That would be amazing. Yes, at Honey. Let me look that up before we begin. At Han Han Honieiee. Yes. I'm just gonna press go. She has an Instagram. I want to see. Oh, look at this. Oh, interesting. You know, guys, the one thing I wish I could have been able to do was art. Oh, this one is beautiful. I don't know if it's her. Okay, let me check out hers. Images. Oh, this is one of Oshun. It's several here of Oshun. A couple of saints, all African American. Interesting. Look at this one. Oshun again. Oh, she's gorgeous here. The fire eyes. Yeah, this is my favorite. Oh, look at this one. Oh, with the sunflowers. Oh, she is gorgeous. Oh my God. I don't know, but I got to keep this one. I got to find a way to keep this one. So I'll figure it out later. Oh, Angela. She is worthy. She's worthy. Hmm. Well, let me take this part out. I just want to see her. She is worthy. Honeie. She is oh, the artist. Come on, guys, work with me. Sometimes, oh, here she is. In any case, she's amazing. Let me look at her IG because Google gets on my nerves sometimes. At Honey, all. Here it is. I'll just go ahead and look at her IG. Hmm. How does anyone get the inspiration to do what she does? This is gorgeous. That's when I think God is in you. God is in you when you can create this type of art with such graphic details. Yep, that's my girl. I like this one right here. Oh, wow. Her art is amazing. I'm sure it's expensive, but I would take her art and put in my house right now. I'm sure it's expensive. That's the only reason why I don't have art in my house because it's so expensive. Once you're discovered, it's a wrap. All right, I'm over it, but I do love what she has portrayed. Oh, look at the one with the lion. That's nice. Interesting. Pomegranates here. Mm. Oh, she calls it watermelon. Ever wonder why watermelon? It looks like pomegranates. All right. All right. Thank you, honey. Thank you. This was amazing. I really love this. All right. Thank you so much, Angela. What a discovery. I love it so much. Still We Rise is simply gorgeous. It is gorgeous. Oh, that's my belief system right there. Oh, this looks like Yemaja. Mm-hmm. All right. I'm good. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, I am in love. Thank you. Okay, let's get this party started. Let's get this party started quickly. All right. By the way, all my oils are out. I only owe oils to my personal group, inside my personal group. They're the only ones that I owe. Everyone else is getting their oils. And because it's a holiday, some people will get it on Wednesday and others will get it on Thursday. That includes you too, Angela. I don't know which group you're in, but you won't get it any later than Thursday. All right. All righty now. Let's get this party started. Ever, every sincere desire of the heart is true prayer when this desire or prayer is formulated and given the principle or an answer to prayer. I prefer to say God is immediately providing us with every step necessary to the perfect expression of this desire or prayer. And our failure to receive these directions is due to ignorance or lack of faith, which causes our mind to become disturbed with doubts and fears. Our reasoning mind arguing that it cannot be done. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh, stop. I'm always trying to break this mic. I'm going to plug it in. That's how I drop my bell. I'll get my bell in a minute. I don't know if it makes a difference, but I put my mic in. Garland Anderson, playwright, metaphysical lecturer, and the author of From Newsboy and Bellhop to Playwright, spent most of his early life in San Francisco. In that city, over a period of 15 years, he worked in various hotels as a bellhop and was so employed when he wrote the play Appearances in 1925. Thank you, Angela. When the desire came to me to write a play, my first reaction was, how absurd. With only 4 years of schooling and no training, how could I ever hope to write a play? These and many other negative thoughts arose in my mind. It dawned upon me that to suppress a desire to do something worthwhile in life could be linked to the outer shell of an action after it was planted, saying to that inner stir of life, what are you stirring around you? Surely you don't expect to become a big oak tree. Why? You are only the inside of a mere acorn. How could you ever expect to realize such a big desire? God would never have given the acorn the desire to become a big oak tree without equipping it with the power for the full realization of this desire. And much less would he give man, created in his own image and likeness, the power to desire to do something big in life without equipping him with the power for the full realization of that desire. With this idea firmly fixed in his mind, it took 3 months to completely clear my consciousness of all the doubt, all the worries, and fear. The disturbances which prevented a poised state of mind necessary to receive the answer which was always there, but unable to manifest due to these disturbances. The minute I believed I had received, however, the ideas flowed normally and naturally. And while it took 3 months for me to clear my consciousness, it only took 3 weeks to write the play, which is proof positive, I turned it around, that the fulfillment comes with the desire when the mind is posed in faith. The question might arise here: how did you know the technique of dramatic writing, having never learned? And my answer is of myself intellectually. I knew nothing about technique, but with the faith and the presence of principle of success of God within, I knew all about it. Andrus's play opened up on Broadway on October 13th, 1925, ran for 3 weeks. It was the first African American to have a play produced on Broadway. He later produced appearances in Los Angeles, where it ran for 5 weeks. And in March 1930, the play opened in London. So, what's your desires? What's the thing that you gave up on? What's the thing that somebody says, oh, that's so silly, you can't do that? That's so silly. I'd rather do something and fail than had done nothing at all. Doing nothing is failing, but trying and getting back out there and trying again and getting back out there and trying again, that is called winning. So I want us all to start winning. I don't care what your age bracket is. If you're in your 20s, you're way ahead of the game because life is abundant for you. If you're 40 and at a crisis of life and you're looking at your life and thinking there's got to be more, there is more. So explore something creative, especially, right? I'm not saying give up your day job, but for all those during 2020 that decided to move out of the country, at least you did it. And that's more beautiful than never had done it. For me personally, I was singing, which I have a problem doing a lot. My mom was a beautiful singer, and she didn't think I had the voice, right? And so, with that being said, she never gave me voice lessons. She gave me dance lessons. She gave me voice lessons. I think if you give someone dance lessons, I think you should give them voice lessons too. Sometimes they can collide and make a great expression. But I never got the voice lesson, but I love singing. And around 30, I heard my voice change and I heard harmony, but I still wasn't trained. And so I didn't know how to capture the highs and lows. And so, but I always sing. And then I was in a gas station, and this is one of those gas stations where they have groceries. And a song came on that I couldn't help but sing. I don't even remember the name of the song. So I got up to the cashier, still singing because I couldn't stop. So I was still singing when she said, "You have such a beautiful voice." And I was like, "Oh, I know. Thank you." And I said, I have that kind of voice that you can actually only hear at karaoke, like downplaying myself, right? So I get in the car, and when I first got here, there's a restaurant that does karaoke. And when I first got here, um, I said to this place, I says, "Oh my God, I love karaoke, but my group is on Wednesdays." And she's like, "Well, if you come do karaoke, we'll let you run it." And I was like, "Oh my God, I would love to run karaoke." And then I never got a car. It never dawned on me that I wouldn't get a car, that I never got a car. But when she said something to me about my voice, and I said, I really only have the voice for karaoke, downplaying myself. And then I got in the car and I was like, "Tracy, go see if you can run karaoke." So I'm going to go and ask them if they still do karaoke. And if they did, I'd like to run it. Free of charge, by the way. Like, I don't need to be paid for my creative output. I need my creative output. Let me see. Andrew says, talked about this before. I'm writing a book. And just when I neared the end, it came to me it needed to be a work of fiction rather than an autobiography. So will myself to start rewriting all over again. Willing myself to start rewriting all over again. That's really smart. I can't imagine that you would have to change too much up, right? You just have to change what? The pronouns to me, but do what you will, just rewrite it. Exactly. Well, that was very pretty. All right. Go preach. Tell it to the world. A voice told Gertrude Morgan when she was 37 years old. Born in 1900 Columbus, Georgia, she moved to New Orleans in 1939, became a street preacher. In addition to preaching, she sang, played a guitar and tambourine, raising money for the orphanage, which she started with two other women. Jane Livingston and John Beersley wrote of her life in their book, Black Folk Art in America. Directed in 1957 through another vision, Sister Gertrude began dressing in white, a sign she had become the bride of the Father and Christ. I did my missionary work in the black robe around 18 years ago, teaching holiness and righteousness. The great work was so dear. He had taken me out of the black robe and crowned me out in white. In 1960, Sister Gertrude received another message. The Lord told me to leave the streets, give up music, and find a new way to speak the gospel. She took up drawing and painting as a means to depict her about her mission with God, and especially about the book of Revelation. There have since been national exhibits of Sister Gertrude Morgan art. Hold on, let me look her up. I love artists. Pretty sure I was supposed to be an artist. Nobody put a paint in my hand. I feel like I should do Gertrude Morgan art. images. Oh, look at that. Very interesting. Very interesting. Oh, I love the eye. I feel like if I were to do art, it definitely would be an eye or different eyes if I were to do art. I wonder if that's something I could consider. Sky did a session for 10 days where we were giving up something. And I was giving up bread gratefully. I actually figured out that I don't even like bread, guys. I need bread. I don't like bread. And so I gave up bread for Lent for 40 days. And I can't tell you how much weight just like dissipated because the bread really does fill you up. And then I went right back to bread, of course, like, devouring it. And I didn't like myself for it. And so when Beautiful Conundrum Sky's session came up, it was to give up something. And I was like, well, I'm not a fan of bread anymore. So let me just give up bread for 10 days. And she had us create a piece of art. And I made the Eye of Horus. And it came out, to me, it came out really pretty. But now I'm wondering, looking at Gertrude Morgan's eye, I'm wondering if I could make art now too of the eye. I love the eye. Do you guys know the eye and the symbolism? I'm not going to go into it right now, but it used to be called the evil eye. Now it's called the protective eye, and I feel like I want to create different types of eye. When I used to go sell at the cruise ships, I don't go sell there anymore because I don't know if my car can make it down that far. So I just have some fear of being stuck, even though now I know enough people that somebody could come get me. But that was my fear, that I would get down there and nobody would help me because I didn't know enough people. But now I know more people. In any case, um, the only jewelry that I would sell down there would be of the protective eye. Yeah. Bracelets, earrings, necklaces. It was all of the protective eye. In any case, I'm looking at Gertrude's Morgan's exhibits, and one of them was of an eye, and it, of course, because I love the eye, it drew my attention, and I'm like, maybe I could do that. I have a bunch of little canvases, and I have a whole bunch of paint that I bought 2 years ago to give myself some grace and do some art, but I didn't know what to do. At first, I was going to do a bunch of crosses, so I do have one blue cross, but other than that, it didn't come out right. So I had Sylvester of Arts and Tarot to create a cross for me. And of course, he is talented. And so he drew a very beautiful, yeah, I think it's yellow cross for me. I think. Doesn't matter. Maybe I'll try the eye. That should be fun. Okay. Oh, in your book, I have to flesh out the story a lot more. Well, remember, when you're in fiction, now that you're switching it to fiction, you, oh, John left her. No, okay. You don't have to hold back in fiction. Remember that. You blow it out the water. You could do anything in fiction. People could disappear. Hey, John. He doesn't, oh, the music. Hey, John. I got a drink for you when you come back. You're welcome. Um, just remember that you can blow it out the water. All right. Oh my God, I'm so tired. I'm not really tired. Who am I kidding? I just like to say I'm tired. So, just so you all know, John is a self imposed security guard. He has no idea that that is what he's doing, but that's what he is. And so, he likes this particular drink, Gold Peak sweet tea. And so, whenever I get a chance, I pick him up a drink. But last night, I forgot to put it in the freezer. He likes it like, put this in the freezer for me, Tracy, which I really don't get. He constantly says that his, like, I want to be like, why don't you? Oh, wait a second. Wait a minute. I got to take this out my freezer right now. Hold on, guys. Yes. This in the freezer. That is what you. I brought him a drink, but I forgot to put it in the freezer last night. So I couldn't contact him and be like, hey, I got your drink for you. For some reason, I don't know if the man has a freezer, if he doesn't have a freezer. I'm so confused. The one thing I can tell you about this town, confusion a lot. But in any case, he gave me Kalaloo to save for him in my freezer. Again, I asked no questions. He's like, can you? Yes. It's no big deal. And so the other day he says to me, well, he two, 2 weeks ago he gave me two kalaloo, and he said, if you want to taste some of it, go ahead. But once I taste some of it, I ate the whole container. It took me about 3 days, but I ate the whole container. Did not care. And I was like, how do I tell him that I ate his soup? So he says, hey, can I get one of the soup? And I says, well, you only have one because I ate the other one. I just came out, I ate it. And he's like, that's okay. That's okay. I was like, it was too good. I thought I could just taste it and move on with my life. I couldn't. He's like, that's okay. That's okay. So he said to me again, why trust me? God knows. He comes back a week later and he goes, I have kalaloo. Can you put it in your freezer? And I go, of course I can. And meanwhile, like the devil in me is like, eat it, Tracy, eat it. And I was like, no, no. I was disrespectful the last time. I don't need to eat. In any case, he comes to me and he goes, last week, he goes, do you still have that kalaloo? And I said, yes, I do. And he goes, you can have it. And I was like, okay, thank you. And I didn't, I was, I wanted, but I didn't. And he's like, you can have it. So I don't know if he was trying to put me to a test or was God putting me to a test. I don't know. But I told him I would save it for the weekend. And I just took it out the freezer so I could have it for my dinner tonight. Yay! Hallelujah! Asking you to put things in your freezer gives him a chance to engage with you. Maybe that's his way of flirting. I don't think so. If it is, it's going right over my head. I really don't think so. Um, he actually has no. Okay, he actually has no teeth in his mouth. So if that's flirting, it's going right over my head. If it ain't direct, I don't get the memo. So it is what it is. I'm like, if it has to be direct. Because any subtleness, I'm like, what does that mean, really? Mm-mm. I will misinterpret cues all day. Love cues, I will misinterpret. So it is what it is, child. Not concerned at all. All right, let's get back to the book. Howard Thurman, since all beings and all life has joined into a single consciousness, life is one. That creation has unity. That creation had unity was a reality to him. He was aware of a matrix of all spirit, of which each living thing was a part, with each part containing the attributes of the whole God. Thurman, theologian and educator, wrote of many spiritual observations. That's something we should start doing. We got to start doing, let me see something. We got to start doing spiritual observations. Spiritual observation. What is going on around you that was just a little bit odd? Yesterday, I was sitting on my sofa and I have a fan, and the fan was not facing where I was sitting, but it was on. But because you know your house, I didn't think that the fan could reach behind me the way it was facing. But maybe it could bounce off. And then I have this, uh, I forget what it's called. By the way, it's a whole evil eye blanket behind me. That's how much I love the evil eye. I'm thinking about switching it over. No, it's too vibrant on that side. I don't need anything that vibrant. In any case, the rug started to move. And I looked at the fan and I was like, the fan's not facing me. Why is the rug moving? And I have another rug next to my evil eye, and that one wasn't moving at all. And they're in close proximity. So I was like, why is the rug moving? So I would call that a spiritual observation, right? And I think what we should do as a group is start documenting our spiritual observations. Like, what are you getting? Because the earth is changing. So, what are you getting? And it could be subtle little things, but it still could have such great significance. And it would be nice to measure what everyone is seeing and if we're all seeing similar things. In any case, Thurman, the theologian and educator, wrote of many spiritual observations. Memories of childhood experiences early in the century nurtured and validated Thurman's perception. These experiences were undoubtedly the seeding grounds of his theology. Theology. As a child, I was accustomed to spend many hours alone in my rowboat fishing along the river. When there was no sound save the lapping of the waves against the boat, there were times when it seemed as if the earth and the river and the sky and I were one beat of the same pulse. It was a time of watching and waiting for what I did not know. Yet I always knew. There would come a moment when beyond the single pulse beat, there was a sense of presence which seemed always to speak to me. My response to the sense of presence always had the quality of personal communication. There was no voice. There was no vision. There was no image. There was God. There is a unity that binds all living things into a single whole. Sometimes there's a moment of complete and utter identity with the pain of a loved one. All the intensity and anguish are felt. Such a moment was known to Thurman concerning his sister, Henrietta. One morning, as I opened the office windows, I had an overwhelming impulse to pray. As I prayed, the picture of Henrietta lying in bed with her eyes closed and suffering came to mind. Soon I was praying for her, and I began to weep. Moments later, a messenger knocked on the door and handed me a telegram. It was from Mama, telling me to come home at once. Henrietta was dying. By the time I arrived, she was dead. Here, Thurman described the phenomenon in his own life, which he defined as the grace of God. Some years ago, I was crossing the United States by the southern route. I had been advised to stop at San Antonio to see the Alamo. So when the train stopped at noon for a half hour, I got off to look around. If I found myself interested, I could stay to the next train. At first, I thought I would not stay. But just as the conductor announced that the train was ready to go, in a split second, I changed my mind. I ran into the car, took my top coat and bag, and jumped off the slow moving train, much to the consternation of the conductor. I caught the midnight train. The next day, when the train to which I had transferred approached Yuma, Arizona, it slowed. Just off the track ahead were two huge engines, just like two monsters that had been in a life and death struggle, and some 15 or 20 steel cars twisted and turned over. Their sides had been cut open by acetylene torches so that the dead could be removed. That the train that I had suddenly jumped off, that was the train that I had suddenly jumped off several hours before. Interesting. Did you get that? He was debating as to whether or not he should get off the train, and at the last minute, he decided to get off, and he took the midnight train. And by the time he got to Yuma, Arizona, there was a train mangled, and they were using a torch to get the dead bodies off the train, I'm assuming. And he realized that was the train he was supposed to be on. Hmm. Howard Thurman was born in Daytona Beach, Florida in 1900. After completing his undergraduate studies at Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia, he went to Rochester Divinity School in New York to do his graduate studies in theology. In 1926, he served his full time pastorate at Mount Zion Baptist Church in Oberlin, Ohio. During his ministerial career, he was Dean of Ratkin Chapel at Howard University and Dean of the Chapel at Boston University. In San Francisco, he was co-founder and minister of the Church of the Fellowship of All People, whose membership is committed to sharing worship in a way that transcends racial, cultural, and social distinctions. The imprisoned self seems to slid outside its boundaries, and the ebb and flow of life is keenly felt. One becomes an indistinguishable part of a single rhythm, a single pulse, and yet there always remains the hard core of the self, blending and withdrawing, giving and pulling back, accepting and rejoicing, yielding and unyielding, What may this be? The pulsing of the unity that binds all living things in a single whole. The God of life extending himself in the manifold glories of his creation. I didn't really get that last part. If anybody wants a reading with me, I am available today, except for the part where I will be picking up Richard. So, subscribe, like, share, text me for psychic readings at 213-458-7408. And thank you for subscribing. Let me see if my subscribers have grown any. I watch my subscriber count like I watch boiling water. It never grows that way. Interesting. Alrighty now. All right. Moving on. I'm hot, guys. Oh, so hot right now. I should do this in my other room where I have air conditioning. Oh, I'm hot. All right, guys. I'm going to do this in my other room where I have air conditioning. I can't take this heat. It's only 10 o'clock. Ugh. And actually, this heat will make you feel so sluggish. And I have no interest in being sluggish right now. Oh, I could go to Home Depot today. I have a portable air conditioning, and I could, but I'm missing the tube. I could go to Home Depot and figure out. Oh, let me bring my bell. How to, can you bring your book? I'm not living with this mess. 91. Okay. Sorry, guys. That is who we are. Waymaker. There we go. Okay. I feel like sitting in that heat is like punishing yourself. I'm not interested in punishing myself. I don't know if I used to do that in the past, but it's not happening today. Here I am, guys. I'm going to give myself some grace. I'm going to take care of myself. Let me go get some water and... Oh, wait. Did I lose you guys? What did I do? Oh, Give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna breathe here. So I get my air. I'm back. I'm ready, guys. I am back. And air conditioning. Oh my God. You're still here. Thank you. Oh my God. I needed to get out of that heat. It's ridiculous. All right. Next story. Oh, let's see. All right. Next story. Um, oh, let's see. Sister Gertrude. I finished her. Yeah, I did. Next story. In a vision, when she was 12, Elizabeth was told to call the people to repentance, only years after the nation was founded. The presence of the Lord overshadowed me, and I was filled with sweetness and joy. In this way, I continued for about a year. Many times while my hands were at work with my spirit, was carried away to spiritual things. Between her conversion experience and her 42nd year, the time when she fully engaged her vocation, Elizabeth had other visions. I was often carried to distant land and shown places where I should have to travel and deliver the Lord's messages. Years afterwards, I found myself visiting some towns and countries I had seen in the light as I sat home at my sewing, places of which I had never heard. Born a slave in Maryland, 1766, Elizabeth was 11 when she was separated from her parents, sisters, and brothers. Her master hired her out to yet another farm and later sold her. She obtained her freedom when she was 30 years old. Her autobiography, Elizabeth, a colored minister of the gospel born in slavery, was recorded when she was 97 years old. Wow. Oh, I have another bell. I like this bell better. 97, huh? That is so amazing. right, next story. My entire being is straightened daily throughout the trust I have in the teachings, the deeds, the philosophy of Jesus Christ. I am a part of a great, true, wonderful, sterling idea which has real presence within me and helps to keep me aware. The awareness is a flesh and flowing stream that goes with me, even as the bloodstream circulates to give me the breath of life, the breath of spiritual life, and the breath of physical life are all one for me when I speak or think or act. I have done so from the empowering presence which quickens my flesh and assures me that I have thought or spoken or acted in truth. Mary McLuhan Bertrand, educator, social and political organizer, was born in 1875. I love this woman. She was the 15th child of former slaves. It seems to me that every experience I have possessed meaning and significance. I can see the focus of that which happens to me upon the screen of my life and can understand that the messages are coming into me. They will be prepared to go out from me as I seek to guide, lead, and develop people who need help. Because of my rich experiences and because of my ability to meld these experiences into meaningful human truths, I am possessed of a greater faith and can hold that faith for all people. Amongst her accomplishments were the founding of the Bethune Cookman College in Daytona, Florida, and the organization of the National Council of Negro Women. She has been an advisor for 4 presidents. Herein dwells the still small voice which my spiritual self is attuned. I find also that I am equally sensitive to any outside obstructions that would mar this harmony or destroy this fortress. Those inspirational vibrations are known to me as my inner voice. Therefore, as I come face to face with tremendous problems and issues, I'm geared immediately to tremendous problems and issues. I'm geared immediately to these spiritual vibrations, and they never fail me. The response is satisfying, though may the demand may call for great courage and sacrifice. The power of faith, which has my spiritual strength and so intimately a part of my mental and emotional health, that I find integration and harmony ever present within me. And my happiness within is a fortress against doubt and fear and uncertainty. Hi, Rhonda. How are you? Let me read something else here. Therefore, I don't have my highlighter here. Therefore, as I come face to face with tremendous problems and issues, I am geared immediately to the spiritual foundations, and they never fail me. The response is satisfying, though the demand may call for great courage and sacrifice. Okay, enjoy work and enjoy listening. Um, you know, many of us are faced with tremendous issues, right? Sometime in our lives, right? And what did she say? Therefore, as I come face to face with tremendous problems and issues, then she says, I am geared immediately to these spiritual foundations, and they never fail me. Sometimes when we have issues, problems, concerns, we tend to forget that sometimes, I don't know, I could be wrong, but sometimes it could be just a test, you know? Like some people profess their love for God, right? And then, much like Job, God will say, prove it. I'm going to give you concerns. Let's see if you stand the width and the strength through your concerns. And sometimes, when the concerns are so big, we tend to lose our mind. We tend to go numb in fear. We tend to become immobile. We tend not to see the future because whatever is grappling us in that moment is the only thing we could talk about, think about. I get this a lot when I do love readings for people, right? They'll call me, and instead of saying, I have an issue with love, they'll say, well, I got my job, issues at job, which I don't doubt you have issues with your job, but could it be? And then they go, um, you could look at love too. And it's like, no, no, let's be honest. Because if love is a problem, the job could be a problem. Most people can't focus when they're falling out of love. So it's okay to just look at love first. If we look at love and get the answers that we need in love, we could do our job. And the one thing I'm always going to encourage, and if you've gotten a reading with me, is love never interferes with your job. Never, ever. Stay focused. Don't let any one person allow you not to do your job. Ever. There's no such thing as that much love that you would lose your job over love, right? But also, sometimes when she says here, I gear immediately to these spiritual vibrations, and they never fail me. Sometimes when we are having our deepest of problems, sometimes we have to sit in the problem and get quiet and get still to seek the answer. A lot of times we don't appreciate what the outcome could be. So we wait for a better answer. And if that answer is not what we want, we wait. And then that's when you become in trouble. Because spirit will give you answers to your problems. I promise you. But if it's not to our liking, we don't want to hear it. So a good example of that is, let's say you're having rent issues and you have to figure out how you can work it out, right? There are many things that spirit will give you. Spirit will say, talk to your landlord, but you won't. Spirit will say, get another job, but you won't do it. For 1,000 reasons. You could be tired, you already work. Why should I take on a second job? But also, sometimes it's just a temporary fix, not a long term fix. It's just so you don't go into 3 months of not paying rent because you're exhausted thinking about what it is that you have to do, and yet having a second job will solve all of that. So sometimes we've got to sit still a little bit and hear the voice of God talk to us. And then make a decision that that is the voice of God talking to you, and that maybe you have to listen. You know, are you a nurse, Rhonda? Forgive me if I'm supposed to know this. Has anybody felt themselves in a crisis and didn't know what to do and found it hard to listen to the Spirit of God? Because that's okay if you ever wound up in that situation. But listening to the Spirit of God, which means what? Listening to your own voice and the suggestions that your own voice gives you, right? And I get a lot of this in romantic questions, right? They'll call me eventually, but when a lot of times when I do the reading, my clients will say, I thought of that. That came to mind. And I'm like, well, I'm just validating what you already thought, right? And that spirit working through me for you, all right? So, a lot of times, what you've already thought, even before you call me, is meaningful. And I will only validate a thought that you had a lot of times. All right. So, therefore, as I come face to face with tremendous problems and issues, I'm geared immediately to these spiritual foundations, vibrations, and they never fail me. The response is satisfying, though the demand may call for what? Great courage and great sacrifice. Oh, sorry, Rhonda. No, construction security. Okay, I could see that. I was asking why, I should have just asked why you're working on a Sunday, but definitely construction. Got it. To answer author Glenn Clark on how a clay with a color called the lost purple of Egypt was discovered, George Washington Carver said, I talked with God one morning and he led me to it. And when I had brought my friends and we had dug it up, they wanted to dig further, but I said, no need to dig further. This is all there is, God told me. And sure enough, there was no more. Most widely known for his research within the peanut plant and a development of multiple products from it, Carver was an agricultural scientist and educator. In Clark's book, The Man Who Talks with the Flowers, is described an informal gathering in 1935 at the Tuskegee Institute where spiritual views were shared. Carver told the group, including Clark, of his relationship with God and his belief in the divine revelation. Let me see something. Um, Hold on. One, two, no, wait, one. Hold on, guys. 1:30. Getting a reading here. Two. Let me see. Two. Okay. And all right. All right. Um, there is literally nothing. Let me see. Tuskegee and where spiritual views were shared. Carver told the group, including Clark, of his relationship with God and his belief in divine revelations. There is literally nothing I ever wanted to do that I asked the Blessed Creator to help me to do that I have not been able to accomplish. Has anyone ever tried that? Asking God for something? Not money, right? We all want money, right? But asking God for something and then had gotten it. He told me of his practice getting up at 4 o'clock every morning, going to the woods and talking with God. He explained, God gives me my orders for the day. Along there, with things I love most, I gather specimens and study the great lessons nature is so eager to teach us all. When people are still asleep, I hear God best and learn my plan. I never grope for methods. The method is revealed the moment I am inspired to create something new. After my morning talk with God, I go into the library and I begin to carry out his wishes for the day. Does anybody talk with God? Remember, we did the whole series, Conversations with God. Has anyone ever tried to talk with God in this group, in this setting? Try it often. Trust it. Trust that it may be silly talking to God, but it's so rewarding when you practice it. Yes, says Rhonda. Yes. It's so rewarding when you practice talking to God every day that you begin to actually get answers from God. It seems weird and it seems uncomfortable, but it is amazing. Yes, Angela says, talking to God. It's the most rewarding thing I think I have ever found. And I always shocked when God answers my questions and he doesn't fail me. When I moved, I had two apartments to choose. And one was a two-bedroom, which I really wanted. I really wanted a two-bedroom because I knew I wanted to make a YouTube studio out of the other bedroom. But when I looked at it, the other bedroom was kind of dark, didn't have the right light, and me being a sun Leo, I need light, child. And the other bedroom had a brand new mattress, and that means I wouldn't have to spend money on a mattress. Then the other one was near a supermarket. And I felt like being near a supermarket without a car, I knew I wasn't going to have a car for a while, was safer than anything. And so I heard God say in my own voice, take the one nearest the supermarket. And I have no regrets. So, George Washington Carver was born in slavery in Marion Township, Missouri. He was never certain about his birthday, although he generally estimated it at about 1865. Documented are Carver's recognition of having prophetic insight and his interest in utilization of telepathy as a means of communications. Individuals felt strong healing emanations when Carver prayed. Manifested to Carver on this day at Tuskegee Institute through the phenomenon of a vision was how the land surrounding the school would look in the future. The details of this prophetic glimpse was given by Linda O'Murray in her book, George Washington Carver, Scientist and Symbol. While listening to the principal, he gazed out the window and suddenly saw the barren clay dismay of poverty of central Alabama transformed into rolling green hills dotted with nearly painted farmhouses and enjoyed obvious prosperity. He knew somehow he played a role in this transformation. Oh, okay. While listening to the principal, he gazed out the window. Okay. Uh, Mentioned in McMurray's book is the 7-year correspondence between Glenn Clark and Carver. Prior to their first meeting in 1935, the two had corresponded and set times to pray together. They knew of each other through a mutual friend. After meeting, the two continued to pray together across the miles that separated them. Claiming a spiritual communion that allowed them to communicate telepathically. John Sutton, who did his postgraduate work at Tuskegee under Carver's supervision, regarded his life as greatly influenced by Carver. McMurray writes, Sutton felt so close to Carver that he believed the professor communicated with him telepathically while he was in Russia, giving him the solution to a difficult research problem. His strong belief that his life should be committed to being one of service overrode Carver's desire for a career as an artist and led him to align himself with the goals which Booker T. Washington expressed for Tuskegee Institute. It has always been the one ideal of my life to be of the greatest good to the greatest number of my people possible. And to this end, I have been preparing myself for these many years, feeling as I do that this line of education is the key to unlock the golden door of freedom to our people. Through a regression technique, she met herself 100 years earlier, repulsed her brown skinned, small female body self drew back from the old identity's large white maleness, protesting. That's not me, she cried, trying to hear him from her heart. I am a mediator. I am a mediator. But the newly surfaced, thick necked, rough cast cowboy and mercurial tempered grunger remained rooted. His ruthless force in acting solely for his own gain pulsated in her in a strong and unexpected current. Wasn't she forever transmuting that same beauteous herb into penitent acts, the giving of self to others in delusive sweetness? Those acts were part of the unwholesomeness amassing in her in heavy frozen rivers, concealing her inner life. This goal she held to be helpful to all sometimes undermines her own integrity to keep it. Commanded by her search for the truth, she looked again into that image of her former life, disturbing as it was. She knew him well. Amending activity followed the inspection, impenetrable feeling and compacted thought softened, broke up. A weightless moved off, leaving her in fluid expansiveness lighter than ever. Other inclinations were uncovered, but none caused a shift in her perspective as the cowboy. Hmm. The next chapter is, and some are old souls. Chapter 4. That's going to be interesting. Let me see if I should start it. and some are old souls. The doctrine of incarnation is a non Western way in which the spiritual issues of the immortality of the soul, individual spiritual progress, and personal salvation are addressed. According to basic reincarnation theory, many lifetimes are lived by individual soul in unending succession. Once a cycle of birth through death is completed, the soul assumes another body, most often close to the time of birth. With that physical form begins yet another period of existence, but periods of rest between incarnations also occur. That's interesting. The soul comes in just before birth. That's interesting. I would have think the soul would have started earlier. All right, let me get this straight right now. Okay, you will be here at 2:40, correct? Okay. All right, it's all good. The individual soul, which has experienced many incarnations and whose spiritual development and knowledge have increased significantly with each lifetime, is known as an old soul. Although there is usually no memory of past life on a conscious level, the soul is always in a process of evaluating its past experiences and using them as value tools for gaining enlightenment in the present life as part of the course of its spiritual development. Memories of past lives are transmitted into present life in many ways. Dreams and visions exemplify pre existent knowledge may also become available through sudden insight, deja vu, intense spiritual discipline, soulmate meetings, past life regression therapy, and readings by medium psychics and channels. Yeah, Angela, I totally agree. I'm not sure what this was. I didn't see your. It's crazy. It's like she threw something in there, and I'd like to see if there's something moving forward that makes more sense. But I was totally confused. Oh, what, Angela? This might be the beginning of the chapter because this talks about incarnations. All right. Dreams and visions. Every soul is compelled to regain spiritual wholeness, but the life pattern belief system to which it has subscribed in any one lifetime may distract or block the purpose. In an effort to restore its integrity, the soul may use imagery to remind itself. Contact with a past life through dream or vision state allows the soul to liberate, reintegrate a strained self truth. Fragments of self are regained, which has been encapsulated in the many identities the soul has assumed over numerous lifetimes. The past or the past life reveal will often contain information regarding disabilities, imperceptions, which the soul is struggling to resolve in the current life. I believe that if you're struggling with something in this life, you struggled with it in a past life. So I believe I was always a psychic in a past life and maybe did not have the opportunity to do it. So I came back to remember to be this, a psychic. I also think I was a whore in a past life. I really do. So I don't whore around in this life. I honestly believe that. I'm like, no, no, not this life. No, fellas, you don't get to have all of this. All right, that's just my personal joke with God. Are you gonna have sex down there, Tracy? I'll minimize it. It'll be limited, God. I'll remember. Sex is a gift, guys. It's a gift, and it's a gift that keeps giving. So I feel like in a past life I gave a lot. I don't know why I feel that, but I really, really believe that. Because this life, I'm like, oh God. Sudden insight is a spontaneous awareness of specific past life that one has had previous lives that arises suddenly in one's consciousness. It contains no doubt. There is strong and compelling certainty that this was a former life. Like I can tell you in a former life, we've talked about this. I have not talked about it in a while. In a former life, I was Jewish. I saw it in a stone, living in a stone. Now I realize that's what happened with the Jews. They lived in a stone during the day. But the stone had a huge opening, and I feel like it was limestone more than anything because the stone was also like very beigey. And I remember taking care of my grandson. I remember being like 90 years old and taking care of my grandson in any case. And no one can take that from me, right? And then I found out as of recently that Nigerians, there's a Nigerians are threatening to Jews and try to erase their uh, lineage of um, of Jewish history or being chosen by God. And so I'm like, no wonder I felt like I was Jewish because there's something in my Nigerian DNA. All right, deja vu as related to past life memories. Deja vu refers to having a strong sense of recognition that one has previously known a person or has been at a location before. In those situations, the person is in contact with the soul or location known in a previous existence. When I get deja vu, Ethiopians are also Jewish. Yes, yes. I don't believe my Jewishness comes through Ethiopia, though. That's the funny thing. I never had real connection to Ethiopian Jews, but I found out recently that one of the reasons why they attacked Nigeria was because of genocide to get them to forget that they have a connection to being also a part of original Jews. So I just think it's really funny. I'll look it up, Angela, and I'll give more education on that. Um, Whenever I get deja vu, although I don't get it like I used to, I get dizzy and I have to like stop or sit down or because it makes me very dizzy. Deja vu. Oh no, no, you said it the right way. Don't sleep on it. Ethiopian to Jews. No, you said it absolutely the right way. Spiritual discipline, those techniques, exercises, and practical studies undertaken by individuals striving to contact and develop their spiritual selves. Revelations about previous incarnations may be brought about through the seeker's intense mental, emotional, and physical efforts to overcome the barriers which separate him or her from the spiritual aspect of self. Discovering one has lived before may occur at any time during concentrated spiritual training. Soulmate meaning that is the union of two beings who have uncompleted past life relationships or who made an agreement to be together in a present or future life. Like I know for a fact my sister Tony and I are soulmates. For a fact. I had a meeting with her 2 days ago, and she just lights up like a Christmas tree when she sees me. And I have such warmth and love and protection for her as if she was my own child. She's doing good, Rhonda. You always ask about her. She's doing so good. And I just love her dearly. And I watched her, especially since COVID, I watch her just blossom. She is such a good soul. I'm so happy where she's at and how we got there. Past life regression therapy. Many techniques exist which enable the interest to contact and relive their past lives. Depending upon which method is employed, a person may be completely aware or in various stages of awareness during the process. Amongst the ways to uncover past life material or through hypnosis, I don't like hypnosis. If anybody wants to, beautiful Tracy, thank you, sweetie. I don't like I don't like hypnosis. I don't believe anyone has to put me under and take the reins of control. I believe I can have a past life regression and still be awake. Um, Forms of counseling will bring up past life issues, special messages, and rituals. Some of the methods are ancient and have their basis in religious or esoteric schools. Those undergoing therapy are usually directed through the experience by a trained person, although sometimes advanced seekers work independently to unveil their own past lives. Past life regression therapy is considered to be by many a means of spiritual cleansing. I don't see it as spiritual cleansing. I see it as spiritual awakening, that connecting to your past life helps you with your current life. Past life readings. The soul generates an energy field which surrounds the physical body. This field is the primary source of information in past life readings. All significant experiences which the soul has undergone over lifetimes is condensed. Additionally, the energy field contains the soul's progressions and visualization for the future. Energy field information taken the form of images, thoughts, and impressions is available to the gifted reader. Under an extended definition of old souls in this chapter is included some individuals who have a strong measure of certainty about the existence of past lives. Readers who discern the existence of past lives in others, and individuals who hold sure beliefs about past life and who have intuitively on the subject of past lives. All right, we're going to stop there, and all of these impressions are going to come from past lives, what they remember. So, everyone, enjoy your Sunday. Hi, Incognito. Enjoy your Sunday. Make it what you will, but in peace. Have a great day. All right, guys, call me for your own personal reading. I am open 213-458-7408. Love you guys. Take it easy. Bye.
Gals and guys, go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live.